Hello humans of the internet, my name is Iceberg Lettuce, and today we are here in Minecraft Snapshot 20W46A, taking a look at everything that has been changed and added. Oh, and in case you noticed, I changed my skin back to a regular one from the axolotl one, and that's just because I realized that if I started now with the axolotl skin, I would need to keep it on for like the next 6 months, and I don't think I'm ready for that level of commitment, so we're just gonna go with the normal skin until we get closer to the release of 1.17. But anyway, let's get into the stuff that has been changed and added. So the big new thing in this snapshot is powder snow. So powder snow is sort of like cobwebs in that you can walk through it and you'll sink into it slowly if you stand on it. I tested this out in survival mode and it does break your fall if you fall onto it too. It's also interesting because you don't pick it up using Silk Touch or like any other type of block. You actually use a bucket, so you pick up powder snow as if it were a liquid, which is pretty interesting. In addition, you can stop yourself from sinking into powder snow by putting on a pair of leather boots, which will allow you to stand on top of it without sinking in. So powder snow also has a pretty interesting mechanic called freezing. So if you're in survival mode and you step into it, you'll see that slowly my FOV will begin to zoom in and you'll see some snowflakes around the corners of my screen, and that means I'm freezing, and after a while you'll see that my hearts will turn blue down at the bottom, and that means I'm frozen. Just give it a second. Yeah, there it goes. And so once you're frozen, you'll start slowly taking damage. It's not that bad, but you definitely don't want to be in powdered snow for too long, so as soon as we step out you'll see that I'll start going back to normal. So you can actually stop yourself from taking damage due to powder snow using leather armor. So any sort of leather armor will protect you a little bit from freezing damage, but if you put on every single leather item, so boots, pants, tunic, and cap, you'll see here that we no longer take damage from this freezing effect at all. So if I were to stand here for a second, you'd see that we would freeze, but we wouldn't actually start to take any damage. So just like water and now lava, powdered snow can be put into a cauldron. This doesn't actually do anything as far as I'm aware. It doesn't break your fall or anything like that, but it is interesting because if you set the weather to any sort of snowy weather, so if it's raining in a snowy biome, over time a cauldron that's empty will begin to fill up with powdered snow, and so you can actually use that to farm powdered snow. So next up, the textures for a bunch of blocks and items from the previous snapshot have been changed. So we've got cut copper, the lightning rod, calcite, both types of amethyst, the tinted glass, candles, copper ingots, amethyst shards, and bundles, both open and closed. These have all been changed, and in just a second I'll bring up a picture of what these used to look like. You can pause and take a look at those if you want to. The lightning rod has had its area of effect doubled, so previously this worked I believe in a 64 by 64 area, and they said it was doubled, so I guess that means that this works in a 128 by 128 block area now. In addition, the copper block's crafting recipe has been changed. It now requires only 4 copper ingots instead of 9, so that means building with this block will be quite a bit easier now. You can now silk touch all 3 types of budding amethyst, so you couldn't actually obtain these previously. These were unobtainable with silk touch, the growing versions of amethyst, and now you can silk touch them. I'm wondering if this means that amethyst farming will be a little bit easier now that you can actually collect the early versions of amethyst and move them somewhere else. And the last thing in-game we've got here is that the spyglass's zoom-in texture has been changed. So you can see it's got a little bit of a gold border now, and it's also a square instead of a circle, which gives you a little bit more room to see. And the last thing we've got here is in the menu. You can now use the scroll wheel to switch between different settings on here, so you can just scroll through the different game modes and difficulties instead of having to click to change between them. So that is just about everything there is to talk about from the snapshot. I hope you all enjoyed watching, and see you next time everybody. Bye!